Yeah, I kind of describe myself as the old sofa in the band. You know, I've been, around for so long, it's kind of, it works. Sometimes I get put in the spare room. Sometimes it takes taken out of storage. But, it's like we have a very good working relationship. I think the secret to our success really is that we both do different things other than just working with each other. So, 'cause I work with a lot of different people, and I also work with my own band. So that means that when I come back to his table, so to speak, I've got something to show him, and he has something to show me. So it's like we're two brothers who are like exchanging notes. I mean, I don't think I'd be any use to him if I were always working with him, and so that's why it works, I think. And I've been involved in just about every project he's done for the last 20 years, and it's always challenging and it's always interesting, and I'm always enthused by it. So really, I think that's what it's all about. Well, I wanted a low wattage amp to work with an orchestra, and it's very complicated working with orchestra because, obviously because they're not very loud, are they? The violins and cellos and wind instruments. So I wanted it to be powerful, but not too loud. So really, they were great amps. But for this show, I'm using different amps. I'm using the Lone Stars, which I've been using for a few years now, and for me, it fulfills all my needs, really. Oh, I've always used the Mesa Boogie products. I like the sound. I identify with the way that they work, and they just do what it says on the label. Because see, the difference between recording and playing live is that when I play live, I don't like to mess with the amp. I just like to have one setting for the whole gig. So you've got to be careful about that. It's like, what's your heavy channel going to sound like? Is it going to be too heavy, or what's the level of it? So we use the heavy channel kind of like as a boost, just like as a volume push, not so much a heavy channel. There's so many factors. In a studio, I will adjust for each song. So really, I kind of describe that amp as kind of the love child of the AC30 and the Fender Twin. It's got the glassiness of a Fender Twin, and it's got the punch of an AC30. So really, it does what I want it to do, and I'm not too fussy about amps or gear or guitars. I just want them to work, and I got to have stuff that works, and the equipment that I use has got to function the way I need it to function, which is all the pedals I use. I have quite a simple setup, but Sting's music is quite complicated, but yet I want it to sound like I just made it up. So the gear that I have around me is doing what I need it to do for the moment, but we work quite hard at that.
Also using Lone Star, right?
Yeah, I'm just using one pedal tube screamer, same sort of thing I do back home. Combo amp, sort of cranked up a little bit, and then if I need it to be heavier. It's quite a heavy sound I got with the tube screamer, Ibanez one. So yeah, same sort of thing. I like combo amps, cranked up, simple, and this amp works really well for me, so I had no complaints when Richie put it in front of me. Very happy.
I'm just grateful to have found an amp that I really like to work with for a long, long time. I think it's 20. Actually, it's longer than that. Since 1987, when I was in a band called King Swamp, that's when I was exposed to Mesa Boogie stuff, and that was a major breakthrough, really. So I've been using this stuff for a long, long time, and basically, it's still working, and you're still coming out with good stuff. So I'm going to keep using it.
Well, it was always like, it might happen. It wasn't a definite. So I just had to work really hard, make sure I was sort of top of my game for, you know, the rehearsals. Because the kind of audition in a weird sort of a way was doing the Letterman show, wasn't it?
Yeah, and you nailed it.
Yeah. So after that they said, they actually asked me to come here and we did a show, and I didn't really know some of the songs on the set list, but I sort of got through it. And then it all seemed to go pretty well for rehearsals for this tour, and I'm here now, so it's a slow progress but a really exciting one all the way. Yeah, what like he was saying, with my role, like on stage, I'm not improvising too much. It's I know exactly what to do. Just stick with the rhythm, keep to the Malcolm Young thing. Even though I wander around a little bit on stage, I try and stay with the drums. And then Dad can be quite loose, and he's improvising a lot.
Yeah, I'm improvising much more than usual, which is great. It gives me great freedom, and it's such a breath of fresh air. It's almost like I'm in a studio, and what he's playing was what I tracked first, because I understand his timing so well. It's like a kind of, I suppose that's the sort of family thing, really. It's like a real kind of understanding of tempo and meter that we play in a certain similar way. So he, you know, when he's playing, it sounds like it's me playing. Sometimes it's kind of weird. So, like I would do in a studio, I would do the main rhythm part and then just float around that. And then the producer will just kind of do a comp of what I floated. But on a gig, there's no comping. You know, this is it. So it's very exciting. And but you are kind of taking a few chances now. I noticed that recently with the rhythms, and I think that's the point. You know, it's just the guitar role when you're playing in a band is to be focused really on what is it that makes the song work. And also, you've got to be a little bit like an actor. You've just got a role. And you can sometimes take chances around that role and just improvise a bit, or just understand the role and go out there with it, or explore it.
I started pretty much around the time I was 7, and then Dad was doing a lot of touring then. So there was always guitars around the house, and I was really into Nirvana and bands like that, so I just wanted to learn, you know, a few things, and Dad showed me about 3 or 4, maybe 5 chords, and then he'd be off for a while and I'd just work on those chords. I think that's maybe why I focus on rhythm, because, you know, I really like songwriting, and if I've got 5 chords then I'm pretty much off. I can write about 30 songs with that. And then Dad would come back and go, you might want to try adding this chord, or here's a riff, or, you know. So it's quite a good slow way of learning, and then all the while I could see my dad play the software and get some inspiration with that, or pick up a Nirvana CD or something, whatever I was listening to.
Yeah, I mean, Rufus is really into heavy metal, which I love heavy metal. I've always liked heavy metal. I mean, my thing is that I like all kinds of music, as long as it's good and it's genuine and it's authentic and it's sincere. I'll listen to any style of music. And, you know, I would say, a message to any guitarist is you've got to keep the options open all the time. Because if you stick to one style, you can achieve a lot with that style, but maybe one day you'll wake up and decide, actually, you know, I just want to play bossa nova. But then you'd be right at the beginning. So really, it's kind of like spinning plates. I'm always kind of doing different stuff, but Rufus is really into metal at the moment. It's a kind of a phase you're going through, and when we're backstage before a gig, it's all I hear is metal riffs, and I'm thinking, we're just about to do a Sting gig. You know, we're playing really sort of delicate kind of stuff, and this is what you're practicing. But I think that's kind of cool, you know, because before I do my gigs, I practice Bach. And it's got nothing to do with what I'm about to play, but it helps me get into a zone. So I guess that helps you get into it.
Just get out of my system.
Just get into a zone of playing or whatever it is, you know. I'm just a bit worried that you're going to start headbanging during Fields of Gold.
Yeah, that'll probably happen pretty soon.
Yeah.
Kind of distortion that.
That's phenomenal. Right on, you guys. We're about to experience, I think.
I was just saying earlier that me and the violin player are bonding. I'm learning his folk chops, and he's sort of learning some of my heavy metal chops, so maybe we'll meet somewhere in the middle and come up with some dodgy album.
Nice. Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you very much.
Yeah. Cheers. Bye.